All right, folks, welcome back. Well, we're going to do some different stuff today. Slightly different stuff. I need to grab my string, first of all. That might be the only... No, I got one that's black. I'd rather use the black one. It might be somewhere else. I don't remember the last time I used string. Probably the last time I put like a chariot together or something. If it's not there, then it would have to be there. No, I don't see it. Well, the brown one will do. Brown one works fine. Yeah, I think the other one's black. One more look. Should be the same cubby as this one is. Nope. Nope. I got a spray can here? What's this? Oh, clear flat Model Master? It's used. I ought to sell this thing. It's probably worth a fortune. No longer available in stores. I didn't know that was there. You know, the other string's somewhere. Not a big deal. The other one was just black. It's nylon string. Alright, what the hell we need string for? Well, we need to dangle a donut from it. This is the glazed, what the hell is this thing called? Glazed Fury? Glazed Pursuit. Let's get rid of this. See how our donuts turned out. Made 4 of them. And let's get the super readers on now. What's up, Ben? You ready to make the donuts? Time to make the donuts! Time to rape the donuts. What did he say? Shouldn't make fun of rape. What if it's just donuts? Green stuffed donuts is what we made yesterday. I think this is the one I want. It's the largest one. Should make a bunch of those. That's like the mines that it drops. Although, technically, this could have a glue dropper as well. And then you'd have that glaze that comes off of it. That might actually be better. It's a build slot anyways. We could do either one of them. It's 21, 25, 26. Oh, no. We'll have to do the mine dropper. So I think the glue dropper is more than 1 point. Let's see. Let's see what the glue dropper is. Man, you get a lot of like spam and shit off of the glue dropper is also 1 point. Okay, so it could be a mine dropper or it could be the glue dropper. Well, the glue dropper only has 1 round. For whatever reason, they decided the glue dropper is only going to be ammo 1. So. And I already got glazed looking stuff. I'm thinking glaze on a table might look a tad suspect. Well, I've got some. Want to see my glaze? Certainly you've seen it. I'm just talking about in the game. Super cool way of doing it. So you take whatever this stuff is, the baking sheet, what's this called? Parchment paper. And then I ended up putting the shape of the thing, and then made it with hot glue gun, let it dry, and peeled it off. Worked freaking great. Where is it? See if I can find it relatively easily. It's almost too easy to do. Well, here's one that I painted black for oil. Here's a glazed one. Super easy to do. It's even the right glaze color. So you drop that, boom, done. You can paint it black and it's oil too. Boom. Yeah, we're gonna have the glue dropper on this thing. I think that makes sense. I don't have too many cars that have a glue dropper anyways. Maybe 2. I like how they do graft tufts with the PVA. Oh, is that how they make it? I didn't realize that they made that. I've just always bought them. Man, I gotta sub something out, you know? Can't manufacture. I guess that would work, yeah. Oh, really? You're gonna lay down on the job? Let's clean these guys out from here. Well, let's pull it back, because that's the next thing we're gonna do. We got 2 black paints out here. All right, as we were. We got this guy here. We got this donut that we're going to paint. We're going to dangle it from here using this string. But before I do any of that, I want to weather this vehicle. Because we don't want to try to weather that with this dangling donut. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and prime this donut so it's good to go. You just called in, left like have a great stream, we'll watch replay. Okay, yeah, it's late over there. I would have been here sooner, but you know, work and all that. Not all of us can be retired. Even though I've worked at the same place for 32 fucking years. Should have worked at a place that had a union. Probably wouldn't have lasted. So you don't like your job. There's also another job you don't have you might like even less. Like I wouldn't want a job where you're just wearing a bunch of PPE. Like for instance, let's say you work at the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A. Okay, let's just say you work at a drive-thru, right? It doesn't pay the bill. I wouldn't want to work there because you got to wear, not only have to wear a uniform, you got to wear a safety fucking vest. Like you're already working outside. It's hot enough. It's like, man, I don't need more freaking heat-inducing things. I'm not a fan of uniforms. To me, uniforms always like, it just like proves that like, oh, you don't know how to dress properly? All right, well, we're going to make you wear a uniform because you're stupid. I'm like, I don't need to be treated like cattle. Like, I'm not a moron. I'm not going to wear, inappropriate stuff or... The first real job I had, I worked at a grocery store, and you had to wear a fucking tie. And, like, go outside and shit. Like, man, what the hell, man? Now, you don't need to dress like an it. All right, we're going to let that joker dry. We're using the big donut. Okay, weathering. We're going to do just traditional weathering on this thing. And, man, this thing looks really nice considering this looks like a very unimpressive POS when I got it. Or just work from home like some of you guys. You can just wear one of them dickies, right? You just wear a dickie that has like a suit and tie, and meanwhile you're in your underwear. You're in your bicycle shorts or whatever the hell it is you wear around the house. I wonder how many people have bicycle shorts that don't have a bicycle. Probably many. There's probably some people that even have bicycle shorts and don't know how to ride a bike. Although, if you don't know how to ride a bike, you got issues. All right. First step up, chocolate brown. The chocolate brown. Now I'm gonna go light on this thing because it's getting all uppity. Oh, you know what? Nah, I don't know where it is. I got a clamp that would do great to keep this thing from moving on me. Just annoying when things get shifty. Man, I'm sorry I'm not very motivated to go and try to figure out how to play another Ancients rule set. But the idea of just doing that right now would just be like, all right, I can do it, but I got to quit my job. Like, it's just too big an ask. But I'm not getting rid of my Ancients, so they'll still be there. I can't even get motivated to build these cards for these things. Right now we're doing all the therapy, none of the work. All the therapy, none of the work. UK is all on one time zone, isn't it? Yeah, because it's like vertical. If the time zones worked in the other direction, that wouldn't be the case. But since they're horizontal instead of vertical. Well, they're vertical, but the time changes horizontally. So I can see like, oh, the Orkneys would be something different. Isn't the Orkneys part of the UK? I think so. They do any tours of Scapa Flow? Because that'd be kind of cool, unless there's like nothing to see there. I bet the water's really dark there. I mean, there's a whole lot of ships sunk in Scapa Flow. Most of them German. Unless they've been, salvaged. There was this show, and I talked about it before. It was on the Disney Channel or Discovery or something like that. Well, the Disney owns Discovery along with every fucking thing else in the world. But there was this show that was like, Drain the Oceans or something like that. And it was this show about Jutland. And, a lot of the Jutland, I think, it sits on the Dogger Bank, or at least part of it does. But it's like super freaking shallow. It's super, super shallow. It's so shallow that when some of the ships sank, they got stuck to the bottom or were sticking out of the ground, like the Invincible. I believe it was the Invincible that exploded. It was actually, I think, the last capital ship that blew up for the British that day. Well, the Germans didn't have any that blew up, but the Invincible, I think, was the last capital ship that blew up. And it split in half. And both halves were sticking up out of the water. Because it's only like 200 feet deep or something like that there. Maybe even less than that. Like, that's super shallow. Don't name a ship Invincible. You're asking for a problem. There's no way something could happen to this. You're fucked. Stay humble until you've won the race and have the medal around your neck. It's funny because the Invincible class battle cruisers, when they show up at Falkland Islands, man, it's like the New Jersey going up against, like... Well, it'd be like Hood going up against Prince Eugen or something like that. It's just like... It's not even close. But then when you're fighting somewhere, when you're fighting real battleships, they're a little light on the armor. But to go against the old Scharnhorst and Gneisenau heavy armored cruisers, like, cakewalk. Like, they're faster than Scharnhorst and Gneisenau. Outgun them severely. Outrange them severely. All you could hope is like a fog bank. Oh, there's one guy when I was a kid. He was playing this battle. We're playing this battle cruiser action. This guy was so ignoramus. He called the battle cruiser in Eisenhower Gnisnu. Well, NAU doesn't make that sound, but okay. Gnisnu. Typical American. I just don't feel like putting armor on this thing. I just don't. I want the police vehicles to kind of look almost like they're ambushing you, thinking that they're just a regular vehicle. Sounds like a Star Wars character. What would Gnisnu look like? I feel like Gnisnu should be like tall and lanky, almost like Hammerhead. Remember the Hammerhead guy? I had one of those figures. Hammerhead guy. It looks like, instead of Hammerhead, it's Gnisnu. And whatever sound he makes, whatever, It does sound like a Star Wars character. Sounds like a wise character. Go ask Gnisnu what we should do. Sounds like you would have a trunk. Yeah, it's a stuffy thing, yeah. A trunked, be like a snuffleupagus. Go ask the Gnisnu. 5 pence? You want to ride the Gnisnu? Always has a stuffy nose. Stuffy trunk. Can you have a trunk that's not on your face? Yes, you can, but then it's not a kid's movie. Oh, man. That guy grabbed something with his trunk. I'd say I don't know where that's been, but I do. Goodness, I didn't make this up. Dumb pronunciation. I couldn't tell you how many people's like, oh yeah, the battleship Yamamoto. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Well, you can name the battleship Yamamoto, but then it gets destroyed by a P-38. Good afternoon, mailman. The mailman cometh, and now he's here. You get to deliver any ticking packages? Has there ever been a situation, those people that like leave like a fake package on your on your front porch, and hoping somebody grabs it, and then it like explodes on them, like turns them into a blueberry or confetti city, a tar and feather packaging. Just in case Friday's tomorrow, that 22nd. Don't let your overloads. Oh, really? Title. Did I put the wrong fucking date on it? God bless it. I got one freaking job. Well, I'm gonna go fix that right now. I had an opportunity to not leave work after 7 o'clock today, so I took it. Oh, it's the 21st. I guess we didn't have a stream up. I thought I added one more day to it. Save. Okay. Should be corrected if you... Don't let your overlords trick you to work on Saturday. Well, some people do work on Saturday, but we're supposed to be off on Monday, so I know you'll be at work. One of the few days off I get without having to spend a day off. They sent me to the big city to learn to drive a bigger truck. Have you driven one of those wonky things yet? Those things are ugly as shit. I bet they have great visibility. They also don't offer any protection if somebody like hits you head on. Those things are so ugly they make a Tesla truck look sexy. I know that's a bit of a stretch. You'll be working Saturday. Well, yeah, you get paid extra for it. You guys get paid by the hour, don't you? As long as you have 2 days off in a row. You got weird days off, like a certain somebody. Oshkosh trucks. I've only seen one in a while. They're ugly as hell. They're very pacer-like, which is funny because a vehicle that I would love to do for Gaslands is a pacer and a gremlin. And gremlins actually are super sexy looking compared to a pacer. A pacer just looks like ass. A gremlin is actually not a bad looking vehicle. I don't want to drive one, but All right, now we can do the rustification later. Let's see what we got here on the donut. You have a rotating schedule plus Sunday, so you have Sunday off, and then you don't get 2 days off in a row. I had to go postal on those people. Oh, yeah, that's how it starts. I know you can't kid about stuff like that. They're listening. Green brown. We need the color of a donut. All right, and I want it relatively bright. I mean, it's going to be a glazed donut, but what I mean is the core. I don't want it to look like sad. I want it to make you want to be happy. You want to put it in your mouth. Yeah, I went there. So I think the color. No, that's probably right for the darkest color. Maybe add a little bit of black to this. Somebody brought donuts the other day in the office. Didn't have one. That would just trigger me to want more. I'm not touching that super fat, high fat super sugar on it. Like, nope. I'll get cranky, because you'll get dehydrated. Nope. Friday is the last day of the week. Saturday is the first and a long weekend. I get 3 days off in a row. Friday is the last day of the week. Saturday is the first on the long weekend. Well, we only get like 5 days off. That you don't have to, pay, like New Year's Day. Then you don't get another one off until this week. Until Memorial Day Monday, and then we get 4th of July, and then we get Labor Day, and then Thanksgiving the day after, and then Christmas, depending on how it falls. That's it. The rest of them, you got to use your own days. And I don't like those days because that basically means I got to do a lot of extra work, and the place is open for somebody to cover for you and destroy everything you've done. Like run the ship right into the fucking iceberg. But, when the place is closed, like, nobody can screw it up kind of stuff. And nobody works on Memorial Day. Here in the United States, like, well, I mean, retail does. It's funny because the jobs that I had where I worked on those holidays, I didn't mind. Of course, it didn't pay worth a damn because they're retail. But, retail, I don't think retail's a bad job. It just doesn't pay. You can't pay the bills. People say, oh, retail's terrible. Yeah, retail's terrible because the pay scale's terrible. Not that retail work is, it's fine, You're inside, you're in the air conditioning. You get to deal with some customers that are a pain in the ass, but not everybody's a pain in the ass. I didn't mind it. Not off for Juneteenth? Never heard of that. No. No, we're not off for Martin Luther King. Why would you be off for Juneteenth? Juneteenth, also known as people are late and wishing me a birthday. My birthday is the day before Juneteenth. Oh, you're born on the Battle of Waterloo? Like, news to me. I found that out like 4 years ago. Like, why would I know that? Do I look like a nappy person? I'm not a Napoleonic person. I don't know what the hell that is. The Napster. Most normal places work on Martin Luther King Day, and if you don't work for the government, you work on that day, and certainly Juneteenth. A lot of people work the day after Thanksgiving. In that case, like, fuck that. Let me just take the Friday off. It's days in a row. Like, why would you want, like, okay, you get Thursday off. All right, you go back to work the next day. Well, what's the point in that, All right. I don't know that we're going to go full onto this. And this is probably going to be glazed on both sides. Because it's going to dangle and it's going to dangle in the middle. We're going to put this through it. Like in the industry I work in, most people don't do shit between Christmas and New Year's. Nothing happens unless something's gone sideways. Nobody wants to work during that time, which makes sense. Okay, it makes sense. Like everybody's either traveling, that's when you get a new set of vacation days. So if you wait until the end of the year, you use them and you get a new set. Like all that makes sense. Yeah, you get a bunch of holidays off. Of course you do. But I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff that goes along getting all those days off. I mean, you might get a lot of days off, but then you have to do things a certain way. And I don't know if I could do a job where I have to do things a certain way. And I'm not saying that, I want to do things wrong, but I mean, sometimes there's a more efficient way to do it. I don't know that I want to be a cog in the whole thing. It's a little too late for that. I may end up taking some of this paint off, but I think it's time to do this and see what we're dealing with. So we're going to cut the ends of this. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, you're excessively busy. Yeah, I wonder why. Well, now I'm just too damn busy to take vacation. Like, it just isn't worth it. And I'm sure I will, but I don't know what the conditions are going to... Like, I'm not going to take the work... The girls went on vacation. I was going to go with them for, 3 days. I just canceled them. Figured, oh, well, it's going to be, like, crazy. Let me just take... Things will be smoother that I didn't go. It was a shit show with me not being gone. So, it was definitely the right call, but... Okay, let's cut this extra long. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll tie this off and adjust it accordingly. Let's go ahead and cut this. We don't need this. And we're going to touch this with a little bit of glue to keep this in place. Actually, I'm going to use one of these sharp. This thing's been run through the ringer. Fairly independent what I do have to follow the mail. Well, I mean, I gotta do stuff a certain way too, but I'm just saying everything a certain way. You gotta do this first, and you gotta do the other thing first, and I don't like anybody telling me what to do, so I hustle. It's a general rule. I don't like people prodding me. Hey, have you done this yet? Have you done this yet? So I drive myself crazy, like, overworking myself in a hurry. But it's better than being called, hey, have you done this thing yet? Oh, so you haven't noticed all the stuff that I have done. Okay, enough about work. Oh! I think this thing's going to pull out. If I'm not careful. Let's do the quick setting super glue. Where is it? No, let's use the worthless one. The one that soaks. But lately, like today in particular, man, I run into some people that are like on freaking crack. Like I call people back to leave a message, and like 5 minutes later, they're leaving another message, and it's not an emergency. It's like, man, chill out, man. I'll call you back, man. I'm putting out fires, With this many people smoking pot, I think people would be more chill than they are. Maybe they're not chill because they're not smoking it right then. Your missus was up past 3:30 doing crafting at a scrapbooking event. You don't have any. You don't have any of those ladies that are giving her a bad influence, right? I wish it weighed more so you'd stay taut, but man, you can't have everything. And if I fuck this up, I'll just get another piece of string. I got plenty of it. I gotta turn this down. This is really distracting. It's cold as shit here. Try to soak it up from this morning. It was like 8:15 this morning. I was already freaking drenched. Today was one of those, feels like 106 days. And it's fine if you don't ever have to go outside. Gnisnu, the Star Wars character, huh? I don't know. Star Wars isn't what it used to be, is it? I used to be a night owl too, but I was in my 20s. I got a wild hair up my ass a long time ago. I think I just gotten married or was engaged or something like that. And there was this huge hobby store in Miami. Huge. Called Orange Blossom Hobbies. And they had this model of a Spanish galleon, like 15 millimeter scale. Something like that. Maybe 1/72, something like that. All wood. But like wood that was like already like pre-stained, right? And it had like little cannons and stuff. Like, I could build this. And then I look at the instructions. It's like $100 or something like that. Maybe $120 or something like that. Took a look at the instructions and I go, yeah, I don't want to get into this. Because I was like petrified that I was going to like ruin it. So I ended up like, when I went on in the 2010s or something like that, I sold it. Maybe even earlier than 2010s. I had it like 4 or 5 years or 6 years and like never did anything with it. Sold it on eBay almost for the same amount that I paid for it. But the problem wasn't the rigging. The problem was I didn't have an idea. You had to build a jig to make the pieces of wood curved, and I'm like, I could probably do it. I just don't want to learn on it, And I don't want to build something simple you don't like to see if you're like good at it, and then you'll be good for the big. I'm like, I don't want to build a schooner or something stupid. I want to build like a 16th century Spanish galleon. That's what it was. And it was already like you wouldn't have to paint it. It was already like stained. And like, all little pieces of wood were already stained and everything. Like it was high quality. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to learn on that. Just like if you're like, hey, let me retile my bathroom. Cool, I'd probably handle it, but I don't want to learn on my bathroom, I'm sure you'll make fuck ups. And even more than making fuck ups, you'll find ways that had you done it before, you wouldn't do things. You'd find out what the critical path is, right? That's where experience is. It's like you realize it's a critical path. And like I'll do stuff all the time, even with this, and I'm like, man, I forgot to do this. Well, it's nothing major that I can't go back and fix. But if it's something major, you need to follow the critical path, or you're like, okay, well, we got to start back over, But like, if I put the drippings and then I do the weathering out, man, I wish I would have done it in the other order. Well, I can just redo it. It's not like it's that big of a deal. Now, why is this thing? Well, first of all, because this donut doesn't weigh shit. All right, let's take a little bit of that glue. There should be some left. This watery ass thing. I'm not a fan of this ultra thin. It's good for not much. But there is some peace of mind in that I've got multiple donuts I could use. I can make another. I got lots of these T-things. T-clips or whatever the hell they're called. T-pins. I bet I could stiffen up that glue with some Elmer's, and that would probably help it some. Let's move Glue Landy out of here. Yep, that's like perfect on the height. All right, we're going to keep painting it, and we're going to glaze it on both sides. Now, see if I can get away with doing this. This is one of these tools that isn't useful until you find a use for it, and then you're like, damn, this thing, I wish I used this for all kinds of stuff. Okay, that'll keep the thing from moving as much. Now we can paint both sides. Okay. Well, the girls get back tomorrow, so there goes life as being a bachelor. They don't keep me from doing anything. They just add more things I get to do. I don't mean like honeydew list. I mean, I'm just talking about, just different activities. When's the next Formula One race? Is it this weekend? Francois! Where have you been, my friend? Shit, I don't think you've watched a single one of my shows since I did Cars. I could be wrong. How you been, man? So I got a really interesting email. So 2 days ago, my daughter turned 21. And so she went over to visit a friend of hers with the wife. She didn't really chaperone her, but she took her over there in the car and everything. She has a friend that her parents moved to New Orleans and everything. And it's this weekend, awesome! And we get the next day. We'll watch that with the daughter. So she turned 21, and I just got an email today. We have season passes to Busch Gardens, and one of the good things about Busch Gardens they used to do back when Anheuser-Busch owned the place, you would go in and you would get 2 free beers. Because it's just spillage for them, right? It doesn't cost anything. And I just got an email today saying that over the summer, when you need a beer the least, right? Because it dehydrates the hell out of you, they're going back to giving people 2 free beers. So just in time I don't think they had done it at any time then. They must have known my daughter was turning 21, Having your own morning streams, okay. Actually, your vids have me interested in getting some Hot Wheels. Man, it is, I'm going to say something. This is the best hobby of anything. What do you mean, you don't like World War II stuff? Got nothing to do with that. It means every single place you go, the grocery store, well, I don't get down at the gas station. That's a bad example. Okay? But every place you go, there's an opportunity to look through toys to potentially buy. It doesn't mean you have to buy them. And if you do, it costs $1. And they're a work of art. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that if you just take something like this is a Ford Transit wagon. Well, maybe this is a bad example. But here's a little Ford logo that they decided not to paint. There's all kinds of, the lights. You go online, you learn about real vehicles. It's exciting as hell. And it's cheap. And it's like, you go from painting a tow truck to like, I want to paint some bling limo. To like, you know what, I want to do another bling vehicle. So let's do this exaggerated one with it. I mean, it's just like the sky's the limit. I mean, this is a lot more different than like a King Tiger to a Panzer II. This is much, completely different. I love this. I love it. What I don't like about Hot Wheels, there's really only one thing I don't like about Hot Wheels. And it's something that's easy to ignore if you're not an addict. Is I don't like this whole, people going, I gotta get the super speeds or the super fast or whatever the hell they're called, treasure hunts and all that. That's for people that just collect. Collectors just means you just buy shit, right? And not only do you buy shit, which anybody can do, right? But you can't open it or do anything with it. I'm like, look, okay, you're into toys. Like, let's say I wasn't going to paint the cars. At least take them out of the package and display them because they're cool. Not like, I got to put them in this. Oh, they can't be outside in the light because the package will get damaged. I'm like, go invest in gold then or something else, Super cool hobby. Super, super cool hobby. Regardless of the game. I love it. I love it. And it's funny because the daughter's like, why do you keep doing cars? Because the daughter likes the World War II stuff more than the cars. The wife likes the car stuff more. She's more not fascinated, but she's more, she gets it a little bit more. I don't know. Whatever. I just think it's amazing. I mean, I got a lot of cars to do. But if you add up all the money that I've spent, it's less money than going to one game convention. And I'll tell you what, this provides a lot more therapy than going to one game convention. So, it's amazing. It's amazing. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of, man, attack of the sneeze. And, but that addict thing doesn't run in my, gene pool. I don't got like, go and buy 4. You don't know which ones you're going to get because they sell some of these like in a blind package. I'm like, I am not the demographics for that. That doesn't appeal to me at all, No, it's amazing. It's really, really amazing. Especially the ones I had from my youth that were beat to shit and I just brought them to life, and generally in a couple hours, you're done with them. And then you can move on to something different. I mean, I've only been doing these since September of last year, and I have 120 of them. Done. And I don't know that I've been rushed doing them, And they're out for display. It's artwork. I think it is. It's more artwork than some artists. More artwork than the Jackson Pollock pap smears and things like that. Your hesitation is you don't have the extra bits. That was a big hesitation for me. So I built like 4 of them 7 or 8 years ago, but I never finished them because I didn't have the bits. And I didn't know, I didn't want to build ones that didn't look like the bits that they had, right? Like I don't want to put like a minigun and then it doesn't have a minigun. Because that just seems like, you're pulling a fast one on somebody, You're a Warhammer guy, my bits are not the right scale. Yeah, some of them are, and some of them, aren't. Yeah, you'll either jump or you're not, and it's not a big deal. It's cool to look through them and not buy any, or buy one, or. The other thing I don't like about them is that they're in different sets. So if you go on the Hot Wheels website, you'll see, okay, these are the ones from 2025, let's say 2026, right? And they have what they call different cases. And I'm sure Matchbox does it as well. I just haven't looked at it. And I don't have a preference. I really don't have a preference between Matchbox and Hot Wheels. They're both owned by the same company now. As a general rule, the Hot Wheels ones, well, not as a general rule, the Hot Wheels ones are more exaggerated than the Matchbox ones. Did I say that right? The Hot Wheels ones are more exaggerated than the Matchbox ones, generally. And generally the Matchbox ones have better detail. But you're going to repaint stuff. You got lights and stuff like this is some no-name thing, and all the stuff is there on the grill to make it look awesome, But yeah, I had that hesitation. I had that Mustang that I did, Tantrum. Tantrum was done, and I didn't have any bits, so I just never finished it. It's finished, but it wasn't finished. So I've got still 3 or 4 cars like that. I got the jalapeno popper. Probably should do the jalapeno popper next. It's like what car is it? Is it a Dart? I think it's like a 67 Dart or something like that. That's like metallic green with like flames on it. So, and it's weathered, but and the thing I really like about it is I like all my cars. And I like all my teams. It's not like I like one team more than the others. They're all cool. So. And if they're not cool, well, you shouldn't have built it that way. Dumbass! Why'd you build something that wasn't cool? That's on you, the creator, Alright, we need a warm color for the donuts. Maybe something like this, yellow ochre. Nope, it's too yellow. We're going to need to get some white in here. That's going to tone it down. Well, this is the opposite of Warhammer. Warhammer is super fucking expensive. And this is like, I don't know how they make these for $1. I honestly don't know. I'm thinking, okay, slave labor, free materials, you still got to ship them over here. $1 doesn't make sense. I just don't, I don't know how they do it. But I guess I should shut up about it or they go up in price. Now, this other place this used or secondhand place that I go to that has, yesteryear. Oh, so I was getting back to the cases. So if there's 2026, you see, okay, what's going to come out in 2026? They have everything broken down in like case A, B, C, D, E, all the way to about N. And then by that time, I don't think there's like an O. Around that time, the 2027s will come out. So that's, what, about 18? So every other month, there's like 2 cases coming out. And the 2020, just like real cars, the 2026s usually come out about in October. So you'll get a store, like let's say you go to Walmart, right? And you'll start seeing, once you start seeing the A-case Walmart stuff, then you'll eventually see the Bs, and you get the Cs, you're never going to see the A-case stuff again. So if you don't grab a certain car while it's available, you got to go through a little bit more trouble to get it afterwards. Now, just about everything's available on eBay, and it's relatively, because I don't mind, okay, these things go for about $1. I wouldn't even mind paying $3 for a car. But the problem is the shipping's like $7. So now you're like, okay, $10 for a car, you're better off buying cars when you see them that you like them instead of having to wait till later. That's only kind of the only real drawback. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. This is a little too watery here. But since we got to paint both sides, and coming up with names of the cars is by far one of my favorite things to do. So I don't understand. I don't understand why people are like, "Hey, I got this car, but I don't know what it's called." I'm like, dude, I'm calling it before. I'm naming it before it's built. Like, I build it around the damn name. Generally, there's exceptions, but almost all the time, yep. It's going to be a lot brighter than this, but a lot lighter color than this, but layering's a secret. I don't know that I need to use a yellow color. I think this one's probably just fine. But yeah, I'm glad I inspired you, and if if I make you waste $1 or two. The only thing I don't like about this hobby, about these particular Hot Wheels, is unlike historical gamers, and there's even issues with historical gamers. A lot of the people that play this fall into like fantasy and science fiction people, and fantasy and science fiction people never had their ass beat. They're a little tenders, the tender people. It's kind of a fence. So I mean, I like to make fun of everything, but there's definitely some candy ass people on the pages for this game. Hey, you talking to me? Don't be a candy ass, and I'm not talking to you then. Or people that want to die on a hill. I can't believe you're using AI for whatever, man. Don't come to me wanting to die on a hill, because I live in Florida. There's no hills other than trash dumps, so you'll be dying on the trash dump. This almost feels to me that it's not working properly, but it is. Thank the goodness, because that would be really frustrating. I'm glad I didn't add this yellow. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. We're good. We're going to get exactly where we need to be. Yeah, you want people to immediately recognize that's a freaking donut. Like, I've never played Warhammer, but I've gone into like game stores, and it's like these people don't know who the fuck their dad is. Just they did not have like role models. Like, man, these guys need to go to like a military school or something like that. What? You've been trying to fight? Serve the? Yeah, we're not talking about you. You know what you're talking about. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You may not fit the mold, but there's some. There's some tender people. I can't see stuff like that. They wouldn't have made it through boot camp, Kind of people like, oh, you can't do it, don't I? You're making fun of police officers. Come on, man. You're making fun of everything. Besides, anybody in this game is fair game. Because in my world, every one of these guys, or girls, or ladies, or if you want to check both boxes, you know, because we're inclusive, we want everybody. Everybody has a right to die in vehicular combat. This is like gladiators at Rome. All of these people, except nobody's falsely accused. Okay, all these people deserve to fucking die. You know, these make-believe people in my game, they all are horrible, horrible, horrible people. You know? So there's no good guys here. They're all bad guys. So with the cops, well, they're either pretending to be cops or were cops that, you know, curbed people. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But, you know, they're all like rapists and worse, you know? So you shouldn't be sympathetic towards that. Like we were playing a game a couple months ago. Luke was playing. It's like, everybody dies. That's what people want to see. It's exactly the right attitude. You know? Ladies. Oh, the whole thing is a demolition derby. What was that serial killer? I didn't see the movie. Is it whatever that Warnos or whatever? Yeah, it's all horrible people. It's all horrible, horrible people. That's what I was doing. I was doing that pretend African imaginations thing. Everybody, all the factions, everybody was a bad guy. You know? Just like real life, everybody's a bad guy. Every faction is a bad guy. Yeah, I do a race course as like a figure eight. That'd be pretty cool. Frequently, you don't even make it to... Most cars don't even make it to the first gate. All right, now, we're going to take white. Let's just take straight white. Oh, it can be. You know, sometimes you win because there's nobody else standing. Sometimes you win. Like, I think it's important to drive well. Like, even if you don't win, you didn't drive like a fucking moron. Like, I generally am a pretty good driver. My issue is backing up into things. You know, sometimes, because it's hard. You know, when you're picking those templates, I'm pretty good at picking the templates. But when you're going in reverse, you can't look at it from behind. It's a little bit more tricky. So, I've bumped into things before and behind. But I'm generally, if we're going forwards, I'm a pretty good driver. May not win, but, you know. But it's all about narrative, you know? It's all the funny stuff that happens in there, you know? I don't care who wins and who loses. Now, maybe a little bit thicker than this, not as watery. That looks kind of glazed. How do we get to the other side? Let's let loose this, but let's let it off slowly. Because I've never done anything like this. Okay. Now, can we access the other side easier? Yep, it's facing forward. Okay. Man, a glazed donut is great, but instant heartburn. I got a pretty cast iron stomach. I eat like the hottest food, no problem. I have something that's like super sugary and super fatty, like heartburn. All right, we're gonna let that dry a little bit. We'll circle back to it. Let's get the drippings out. Light tone. soft tone, and the mid brown. That's not really a mid brown. It's almost like a red. Should probably look at it before I read it. Man, this was that one. You, sir, are in the wrong place. Hey, stay on these uppity paints. Light tone. Where are you? Where are you, mid-brown? So I can't see how people can operate when it's just like a freaking mess, their area. It might starts neat and then just, it takes a life of its own. I don't see it here. I mean, it's not super necessary. Well, it's probably it's probably the one I'd use the least on this one because it throws to red. I don't really want red on it. All right, we'll work with what we got here. Let's get some fresh water. Yeah, those people. Like there was a friend of mine who wanted to go play some BattleTech game, right? Which I don't have a problem with BattleTech. I played BattleTech lots of times. But he's got pictures of this event in the next town over, this game store. And this long-haired ponytail dude which is fine, that's what you want to do, but he was wearing a freaking commie shirt. A shirt with a hammer and sickle on it. And he wasn't playing Russians. No, there's never a good time to wear hammer and sickle shit. There it is, mid-brown. Right where it should be. Yeah, I don't want to play games with people like that. Sicklehead. Some sickle cell dude. Nah. I'm from the 80s, man. You don't wear really, I'm from the 70s. You don't wear freaking commie shit. I do not put the what's in my coffee? Too much caffeine? And I don't mind the quality of Warhammer stuff. Their fluff just doesn't appeal to me. It's just their world and their, whatever it just doesn't. I'm not the group that it is, enamored with that. But their model, their paints, their first paints were freaking. I still have some. I freaking love them. I still use my Mithril Silver, still the original one. From way back when. It just doesn't work really well for a contract. The contract is you put out products, I buy them. But you got to put out good products so I could buy them. And if you invest in products that are to play some rule set, and you all of a sudden say, you know what, we're not going to support that rule set anymore. Why should I buy more products from you when you're a company that changes their mind about, we don't want to do this anymore. Well, why did you do it in the first place? But they got some good ideas. That White Dwarf, the White Dwarf, back in the day, I don't know if it's still now, but they had some extremely motivating painting things, even though I don't do fantasy and whatever. But why do I prime things in black? Heavy Metal Painting Guide. I got 2 or 3 of their books. You know, they're not as useful now as they used to be because we got the internet and stuff. But they got me kind of moving in a direction that I was happy with. Didn't use it to build their models. My World War II stuff is definitely inspired by it, their style and stuff, to a degree. Well, I skipped my dinner to start earlier, so it's still early. So I'm probably going to stop for sure at 9. But that's still freaking 2 hours away, so we'll probably work on the next vehicle as well. I don't know that I like how that donut turned out. That's too much glaze. Maybe I'll just leave it alone. You just leave it alone. What's the maybe leave it alone. Let's fuck with it. What is this let's see what this does. This is the lightest color of them all. Okay, I think that's a little bit better now. Just needed some depth. Alright, we need to paint this something. So the easiest thing is just to go ahead and paint it metallic. We'll use old lead belcher here. Lead belcher would have been a great name for the phalanx system. On Navy ships to shoot down missiles and I guess anything else you could do with it. Brah! That's our lead belcher system going off again. And I don't really want to build cars. I don't want to just paint cars and not think about the repercussions of what I put on it would have within the game. Or I would have already finished this truck right here. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it. What I'm going to make it a dragster or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Sure, I'll come to the right conclusion when I have to make the decision. All right, we got tail lights. We need to brighten up a little bit. Here we go. Now, this is a cheap POS. Whatever the hell this was. No name type of... It looks all right. Glazed Pursuit. I think we're going to leave this there. We're going to leave that there. All right, let's switch glasses so we can see. There we go. All right, let's move this guy out of the way and move this guy somewhere safe. All right. Let's cross through this and we're going to put not mine dropper. I'm going to have glue dropper. Okay. And then like this car, this overcompensator, I don't have a name for it. I've handed up. It's like I don't want to build it then if I don't have a name for it. Because I want to build around the damn name. Even though the camouflage, the camouflage, not really camouflage, it's supposed to be like lightning bolts. It looks really good. I'd love to do this El Camino. I just don't have any. I don't have any weapons for it in the back. I gotta order some weapons that would fit it. El Caminos are freaking great cars for this game. Probably one of my favorite ones. Is it a pickup or is it a car? Yes, it could be either one you want to. You know, either unit type. Either unit type in the game. Let's see what I got that is fitted, that is started. One of my old cars. What do I got in my old cars that we might do? Maybe we'll do the jalapeno popper. This is a jalapeno popper. Definitely got to be a flame-throwing vehicle. What car is this? Like, why would you repaint those flames? I mean, like, that's cool. Let's work with that, you know? It just Chevy 2. That's it. 63. So luckily I didn't glue it shut. So there's windows here, but they're stylized. So this thing almost needs to have grading on it. So let's build a jalapeno popper. Because when I built it, I just kind of did it. Jalapeno popper. Okay. It's going to be a car, which means it's 12 points, and it's 2 build slots. If I put a flamethrower, we're done. Like, that uses up both build slots. The only thing I don't like about a flamethrower. It ought to have a flame weapon. I mean, it's got freaking flames everywhere. I'm not using my phone to film, so we can use the phone for this. Let's look at the rules. It's only 4 points. If we make it turreted, the problem with making it turreted is I don't really want to put it somewhere that it's going to block the flames on the roof. And it's almost certainly going to be the case if I do that. Let's go look at the weapon vault. Let's see what we got here. We got a lot of really cool looking flamethrowers. Yeah, alternatively, could put missiles on it. But again, we're going to block it. Nah, it just needs to be a flamethrower. It needs to be a flamethrower thing. I don't have that many flamethrowing truck vehicles anyways. Where are the Flammenwerfers? The problem with not putting it on a turret is if I don't put it on a turret, it doesn't. Oh, you know, that is one thing that I misplaced. I misplaced where all my turret mounts were. Because the other day I went and I put these so they were organized, but the turret mounts didn't make it in there. You know, those crummy little turret mounts that I kind of regretted getting. Oh, and they're here. Okay, well, so much for just misplacing those. Put it like on this. Can I mount? The problem with that is that it has these hoses that don't connect to anything. So that looks awkward. That's a flamethrower option. And this thing is just super crude. It's like the only thing that I've gotten from this one particular person that I didn't like, that I didn't love. Well, they can't do everything right. Even I don't do everything right. Could put this. I think I like that. I think I like that for the flamethrower. Now, do we want to put it on a smaller turret mounting? I don't think so, because it supports some of this barrel, so it looks like it's more like together. So I'm going to go ahead and super glue this thing together. And then we're going to put mesh around this to make it look Gaslandy. All right, let's get Glue-landy out here. Right, we're going to set this off the side until it's glued completely. And let's cut out some mesh for, so this is going to have a, it's going to have a flamethrower. That is, I believe it's 4 points. It is. It's 4 points times 3 because it's turreted, so it's 12. So we're at 24 points. We still have 3 left over, but no build slots because a flamethrower takes up both of them. So we'll probably add a perk or something to it, or oh, we'll have a magnum. There's the popper part. That's it. It's got a flamethrower and a magnum. That's the jalapeno part. And the magnum's the popper. Magnum's almost like a bolt action rifle. That's kind of how it behaves. It's got long range, but only has one shot. A really high powered bolt action rifle. All right, let's get this thing back out here. We're going to definitely need this. And let's see, we can remove this. Is it beneficial to work on this without the body? Probably. But I'm going to go ahead and glue these wheels shut. Doesn't roll on you. All right, let's get the mesh. Are there any front windshields I'd want to use? I don't think so. Any windshield frames, I should say. Well, no, because it brings the front of this, it brings the front farther forward. It looks kind of odd. No. We don't have that many of them anyways. All right, so let's start with the front. Let's get our you bastard. Le bastard. Okay, it looks pretty good. So you stick with the bottom where it's at. This one will go up to the point, and this one will go up to this point. Okay, so we're going to start here at the bottom. and we're going to go up to that point, and then over here we're going to start there, and we're going to go up to this point. Now let's see how that looks. That's really pretty close. All right, we'll bend this a little bit. And in this case, I am going to go ahead and glue it down because I can access it from the inside if I need to. Okay, but I'm not going to glue it down just yet. So, but that's going to be the front. The sides. Oh man, it follows almost a perfect contour. The sides. We're going to go there, 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 and then cut across these all the way to there. Let's see how we did here. Fucking perfect. That's fucking perfect. I want another one. I want another one just like that. Ooh, I think we can do it. Let's just keep cutting all the way across this thing. Like so. And the other one can be like so. Let's clean up this edge. Okay, and we have the front, and then we need one for the back. Well, that turned all cattywampus. Candywampus, that's something different. That dude's a candywampus. Okay, let's go from here to the gap. go around over here and go from here to the top point. Let's see here. Let's just taper this down also a little bit on this end. That's good. We'll bend this a little bit. And then we'll go to glue this thing. Save all these little pieces. You never know when you're going to need it. All right, I got to use the little boy's room. I'll be right back. Sorry, I had to do a close switch too. Whoopsie. Okay. All right. This looks kind of weird. All right, let's glue all these pieces parts together. Let's trim. Oh, let's trim our super glue applicator. Toothpick. Yeah, I don't really like using toothpicks for the cars. They're a little too crude. I did use toothpicks for something, but it wasn't for the cars. They're okay for spikes, crude looking spikes, but I didn't really want it on a vehicle. It wasn't really the look I was going for. All right, well, we have the back one handy, so let's go ahead and do that one. Oh, we should probably get rid of this. Just for good measure. I don't like putting a bunch of shit on my cutting board. Not that this one's expensive. I specifically bought that one knowing I was knowing I was going to ruin it. Ruining it by using it. Okay, so we're going to take this little guy here. All right, let's see how this stays on here. Well, that didn't work worth a shit. It's funny, this has always worked great every time. Somebody out there watching's bad luck. I'm not superstitious at all. Although I do like to say that whole thing, don't run your mouth until you've won the race and you got the medal around your neck. Well, the whole point is so you're like, oh, I thought you were going to win. What happened? And then you have to explain shit to people, right? I'm not superstitious. I just don't want to explain shit to people. Like, sorry, pal, you didn't sign up for the update service. I am not a superstitious person. We're all like, oh, I gotta watch a game. We all gotta wear the same underwear that we did the last time the game was. It's like, nah, cut that crap. So, anyways, I don't ever see playing this at like at the game store. Let me go down to the game store and advertise putting a game on. I don't think I'd enjoy playing it with who may show up. And have like, randos touching my cars and stuff. Now I got half a mind to actually glue this front and leave this little window open. I think I might do that. Or at least split it there. Do you have that where we want it? Yep. Where this would be split right here. That's the problem, not cutting against a hard surface. I'll leave that little bit open and see what it looks like, and I can always close it up later. Okay, I don't like this little foot that's sticking out of it. So remove that. All right, let's go ahead and do the deed. And the windows are probably going to be either yellow or orange, and probably like a scarlet orange. Not the whole thing, but like painted metal, and like there's like an overpaint, just to kind of tie the flames in a little bit more. Okay, we're going to save this. We may want to put that on the back. Let's go to the front here. Again, the gap here is going to be right there. Let's see where the girls are. Okay, they're close to where they're going to spend the night. That's good. They made it there. New Orleans is actually a lot closer than I thought it was. This is my sense of distance is kind of skewed, because anytime that we ever went anywhere as a family, my parents made like zero attempt to like get out at the ass crack of dawn. Like I go travel anywhere like Historicon, like when we go to the Historicon, we'd leave at 5 a.m. You wake up at 4, you leave at 5 a.m. So when you get up there, it's like 7. Like it's a reasonable time. Not like, you get there at midnight. Like, no. You need to drive at night when you're fresh, not when you're tired. When we'd go to the theme parks with the daughter, we'd get there when they opened. Not like, well, we'll mosey out of here at 9. I'm like, that's a good way to wait in line all day. Okay, let's see what this looks like on the chassis. Oh, we had this thing fired up the whole time? Yeah. Never said I was a good multitasker. On the chassis. You and your chassis. It definitely looks a little hardier. Obviously, this isn't sealed all the way down. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get some better closure here. Did we close up all the way on that side? No. All right, well, we're going to leave it alone then. Let's, man, that detergent smells weird. It's funny because on the clothes it doesn't, but like, has an unpleasant, or it has a smell I don't care. I don't think it's pleasant. My wife's always changing deodorant. She's always changing detergents. All right, we're going to prime this thing black. What year is this thing? 2015. And I bought it at the store, so that's probably about when I got it. No, that doesn't make any sense. The rules didn't come out to like 2017 or something like that. I think. So this one's going to be for the Mexican lowriders. As a general rule, I like the idea that if the car has flames on it, flame graphics, it ought to be a flame throwing car. Otherwise, you're just sending the wrong signal. You're sending mixed signals. And I'm not a mixed signal sender. Well, I was wanting to go till 9, but man, it's pretty freaking dormant here. I'm not trying to ridicule anybody. It's just, it is what it is. You take, I do my live feed, you do with it whatever you want, but I need some interaction or I'm going to get bored. Especially because I got some stuff to pick her up around the house. Nothing major, but, want the girls to come back. Oh, I'm glad you're back. Pick up the house now. Oh, I missed you. Make me a fucking sandwich, No, I don't need anybody making me a sandwich. Especially if we don't have sandwich stuff either. I'll make my own damn sandwich. That's my kind of cooking. Yeah, I don't like that smell. I don't think I need to get to anything from the inside. It's gray, so that's kind of nice. Let's put this thing together. Oh, of course. I think that's important to go ahead and prime this. The flamethrower that we'll probably end up painting in the morning. I really don't want to wait for this thing to dry. It could take a while for this to dry. Flamethrower here with a barrel. Okay, that'll end up drying, and we'll start with a metallic coat on that. All right, that's going to wrap it up for tonight, folks.